Monday morning, Eldrim's Monster Garage. Garbage guys are coming to collect garbage, and we're headed out in the garage. And this week we're going to make some short work of pulling the 1966 Chevelle engine out. So here we go for a week-long episode of Meldrum's Monster Garage. All right, here we go. First thing we'll do is disconnect the battery. I don't want any sparks getting after me. Then we will lift the car up and disconnect a few things underneath, start to let some fluids drain out. And yeah, go from there. Should come out pretty quick. My strategy is, of course, we're going to take the carburetor off. We're going to put one of my thingamadoo-bobs on the carburetor plate there. And then, yeah, disconnect some things here and there. Try to save as much as I can, but if I see a hose we need to cut, we'll cut and replace it later. See how the wiring harness looks. Typically I replace these wiring harnesses because they're so darn old, but we'll take a look at this. Doesn't look that bad, you know. I think everything's connected up right, so we'll take a look at it as we take it apart. But yeah, here we go. So why are we taking this engine out? Well, here's a few reasons laying on the floor here. You know, this is just one day, and you can see how many drippy drops we got. So we're gonna get this. Yeah, one nice thing about a leaking Chevrolet engine is it nicely coats everything back on the frame, so you don't get any rusting issues on the frame or the body. But you can see the oil is all around the starter there. And you can see some transmission fluid coming out here. I think that seal's been replaced once, but we'll figure out what's going on there too. But don't have any radiator fluid leaking, so that's a good thing. But I don't know what's going on there. That's pretty leaky. And the front of the engine's got, you know, it looks like some oil coming out. I don't know, some weird things on that. I guess you call that a harmonic balancer. That looks kind of weird. But yeah, we'll get it better. Look at all the oil crusted on those springs. Whew. We're peeing in the bottles here. Okay, testing the fluids, radiator fluid. Got some oil fluid. Looks kind of dirty, but I think it got changed last year. But yeah, let's pee some of this stuff out. All right, one of the cool tools I never really get to use, and it's sitting in the toolbox, is this tool clamps on basically to your flywheel and allows you to turn the flywheel and torque converter so we can get it through the 3 different bolts. I got that one loosened up already. But get to the 3 different bolts that hold the torque converter to the flywheel. Because we're going to need to do that to disconnect the engine from the transmission, along with the outer housing bolts, which are always a booger to get to, but we'll get that in a second. But just to show you how easy this works is once you get it set on there, look at that. Oh, it flipped off, but I'll put it back on there because I was doing it with one hand, and it'll make it easy to spin this motor around to get to these torque converter bolts. All right, so I had an interesting idea. You know, when you take these small blocks out, it seems like fluid's always coming out of them. So what I did was I raised up the back end of the car with the lift, and now some additional fluid, radiator fluid, is coming out of the radiator hose that I have disconnected. So, little tip, maybe save you from getting radiator fluid all over your floor once you start to pull the engine. All right, so here we go. You know, we're at the bottom of the motor, and maybe now you can see where I want to pull it. All sorts of goop. If you look at there, you see a hole, and that's where one of the body the engine mounts is. Luckily, that just unscrews. It doesn't have a nut that you got to get a hold of on the other side. It's built into the engine mount. And then over here, same on the other side, you see I removed the fuel pump so that I could get that out. So that's a 5/8 inch long bolt. And I got the fuel pump out, and then easy peasy. The hardest part is getting all these transmission bolts out. Some of them you attack, you see a little silver there. Some you attack from the bottom, some you attack from the top, and they're all super tight. So I think we're ready to lift. I was considering taking the starter out because I thought I was going to need to take that out to get to the engine mount bolt, but I didn't need to do that. So I think she's ready to lift out of here. All right, setting on top here, we're almost ready to take it out. That fan will probably hit the radiator, so I'll probably pull the radiator out or pull the fan out. I'm not sure what yet. I always worry about the distributor still in there. You don't want to crash that against the firewall. And then with big blocks, man, you got to worry about down here with the steering shaft. There's never enough clearance with the exhaust manifolds, but plenty of room for the exhaust manifolds to sneak out of there. And then on this side, same story. So yeah, I think she's pretty well loose. See what happens next. All right, now I got my handy dandy pivot bolted down to the carburetor mounting bolts. And as you can see, I took the water pump, fan assembly, whole 9 yards. There's only 4 bolts holding that. Took that all off as one unit, so that gives me plenty of clearance to pull the motor straight up. Now, one thing I did notice was these tires. It's funny, somebody asked me about what size these tires were on another video. They make the car set so low that I actually had to lift it up a little bit just to get the engine hoist under there. Otherwise, it was hitting the bottom of the A-arm. So I've never had that happen. Even on my Trans Am sets real low, I've never had that happen. But we'll see what that means as we go along here. I do like to roll the car back a little bit. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that a little. I'm gonna have to evaluate if I got enough room to pull this lift back right now, because I got the Trans Am sitting behind it. So yeah, let's evaluate this situation, and then we'll start yanking on this motor. All right, so we push the Trans Am's on roller skates, so I push that out of the way. And this is trial number 1 of lifting this motor up. It's just popping right out of there. So we'll see what the balance point looks like right now. Just wanted to tilt backwards a little bit, but that's okay. I got a lot of room here on the firewall. Yeah, it looks good. I do have one wire still connected to the starter, but after checking things out, get a little crooked. Something must be hanging up on something. Try not to bend things. I'll let her back down because she's a little too crooked here. Oh, here she's getting up on that wire. That was the heater core wire. I'm gonna get a new wiring harness, so not too worried about all of this. Wow, looking at these engine mounts now that it's out. Huh, what a mess. All right, trial number 2 here. I left one exhaust bolt on the exhaust manifold on there. So we should be set now. Well, it's a dumb mistake, but easily fixed. Now it looks like everything's coming okay. Don't forget to remove your ground straps. It's a little bounce this way. There we go. Now we got plenty of room. right out of there. It's rubbing on the brake booster just a tad. That's out of the way. And take a look on this side too. Looks like the exhaust manifolds are gonna maybe rub a little bit. I'm gonna take the heater hose off. I could have done that. All right, there you go. The engine's on a little roll around stand right now. And what I think I'll do is continue to scrub on this thing and probably put it in the bed of the pickup truck and take it up and get it power washed at the power wash car wash machine in Grafton. Get all the grime off of there. And then we'll check some things out. We'll get her on an engine stand and take the oil pan off and make sure we got good bearings. And of course we'll check the timing chain, make sure that's in good shape. But yeah, we'll get 50 years worth of grime off of this thing. So if you want to see how this goes along, we're not planning on doing any hot rod updates on this, although I have done some different evaluations I've been thinking about. I'll spring that on you tomorrow. And this is Mark Meldrum, Meldrum's Monster Garage. Hope you enjoy all this Chevelle-ness. Got it up on the lift there. Ay, 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 what a day. See ya. Like and subscribe.